Okay, so I went in and did just a final polish right here and right here, just because I had been pushing the stone in and out. I got a bunch of little scratches on it. So now we got that final polish in. What we want to do is we want to come in and score up the surface of the where the stone is going to make contact. And we can do that with a diamond burr. As soon as we find one, there it is. And we're not grinding away a bunch of metal, we're just going in and scoring up the surface so that we got good adhesion with the glue. We do the perimeter. And the other thing it does is gets rid of any sponge that's hanging out. All right, that's plenty. Do a little bit on the thin long stone. And that looks pretty good there. So the other thing we want to do is come in on the back side of the stone and make sure all the wax is off of it. And all the wax isn't off of this one. And we might be able to just scrape it off. There it goes. That looks pretty good. We'll do a little roughing up this surface too. And I like to come in and just break that sharp edge just a little bit, just so when I push it in, it doesn't accidentally catch an edge and chip the stone. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's chip this stone off. Yeah, we got a nice polish on that. Just come in and grab just the wax and pop it. looks good. Now, turquoise is fairly fragile, so you have to be really careful. Once it's in place, it's pretty tough, but you know, out here on the, just kind of sitting here, there we go. And we'll catch the edge here. Knock that down a bit. Looks pretty good. Rough it up. And I'm thinking that edge needs a little bit of help. Let's see how it goes. I don't know. That thing just dropped right in there, just like it's supposed to be. I don't know. That looks pretty good to me. And let's give this one a look. Yep. A little high on this one end. Ah! That's why I have a carpet on the floor. Yeah, just a little bit high over here. Can I get that to come in? It might be just a little bit big. I don't know. God, it fits perfect. Yeah, there it is. Okay, it's in. Nice. Aha! Resin. Hardener. I think we should just throw away all the rest of these, because they're old and decrepit. Okay. Let's mix on that piece of paper there. We got everybody in place here. Nice big wad. And here's the hardener. 50-50 on those two. Put these back where they belong. And come up with a mixing knife. think we're pretty well mixed there. Let's bring our piece in. Grab a wad. Put it on the back of the stone. Nice thick layer. Also put a layer on the inside edge. There we go. Looks good. Press our stone in. Make sure it's square. Put a little pressure on it just to kind of get it to pick up all of the air pockets in there. That looks pretty good. And let's get a rag. And we want to scrape off all the excess. Well, it's still nice and wet. Nice. Stone sitting down nice and pretty. Alright, so let's put the other piece in real quick, like before this glue dries up. It's still in good shape. Oops, this side. Okay, around the perimeter. There we go. Down into the center. There we go. It's a beautiful thing. I believe it wants to go this way. Just about perfect. I'm just coming in with my thumbnail and coming into those tight corners. I'll kind of just come back and make sure that everybody's cleaned off. Now there is a certain amount of residue on here, but that'll polish right off. And I think we did it. Push down just a little bit to get it to seat. Oh, beautiful. Nice. Okay, so now we just set her down and let it set up for the next number of hours, leaving this sitting next to it so we can test the glue and see how well it's set up. And I'd say for right now, that's pretty much that. We're going to come back and do some polish work, and then it'll be done, a done deal. So we'll be back soon. Okay, we're all glued in. We're all cleaned up. Basically, I just, when the glue was about half hard, I came in with my fingernail, just kind of scraped off the excess glue, and got it back to somewhat of a polish with my fingers, so that I didn't scratch the metal. Now we have to come in and go ahead and finish off the areas that didn't have a stone. Oops, got one little part right here. Yeah, we'll get that. And also, there's some stuff on the back that I need to deal with. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a little solder that's spilled out right in that area right there. I'll probably point at it with a pencil right there. And, it's going to be fine, but in about 3 or 6 months, that'll turn a real dark, kind of a darker silver color. And it looks pretty bad. So, I just want to take that out and get that cleaned up. And we will do that right now, in fact. Then also, on the back side, there's a bunch of little areas that need a little help. All right, let's go ahead and put a sanding disc in. Let's get a new sanding disc on board. I'm going to get my cheater glasses going here. Ah, that's better. Now I can actually see. And we will start just taking that. Well, as with everything, but especially with jewelry, the most important part is the finish. What does it actually look like as a finished unit? Now, in the machine business, you want it to be flat and straight and accurate and all of that. Whereas with jewelry, it's more about what's it look like? How does it feel? Is it got rough edges? Is it totally smooth everywhere? Is it completely polished everywhere? And what we're at is the final stages just before we take it to the polisher. I've gone in and done a lot of sanding board work using my little sanding board here. Can you see that? Yeah, there it is. At 600 grit paper, so that it's real smooth, and when I go in to polish it, it's just gonna boom, take a polish right away. So I think it's time to take this into the other room and see what we can do about doing a polish on it. Oops, I see one little spot right there. We're just gonna get the oxidation off. There we go. All right, let's take it in the other room, see what we can do. All right, a couple things we want to do is we're going to use a felt pad first, and this is a felt pad, but I think what I want to use is a little bit more used up one, just because it's got a wider surface on it. So a little bit of compound, just a smidge of the felt work, just to bring that bling back in play. There we go. Now we got a little scratch right there. And that took it out mostly. Perimeter and make sure that any little scratches get taken care of. Now we're going to do the sides, and we'll need a buffing rag for that rather than a felt wheel. And if you notice, whenever I'm polishing, I polish from one side, then I rotate it and polish from another side, and rotate it and polish from another side, because you don't want to just kind of create a bunch of lines in your finish. You want to be able to cut the lines from different angles. So we're going to take the buffing rag off right now, and the only other thing I can think to work with is the inside ring mandrel, because nothing else will fit in there. And this is a pain in the ass to work with, but hey, it's all you got. It's all you got. All right, let's go back into the bench and do a couple of final things, and we're ready to go. All right, two things left to do here, and one is to stamp my name into it, and I've got a little stamp that says Nick Collier, and the other is to stamp the Sterling sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a towel over our anvil, come in right here. This is Sterling. That's not going to work. Oh, here, we can do it right to there. That'll be perfect. Yep, that looks pretty good. Get it squared up, all set to go, and one little stamp. Says Sterling. Now let's go over to the other side and punch my name in. I think what I want to do is come from this side. There we go. And Nick Collier. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but let's see if we can get it in close enough that you can. Sterling and Nick Collier. That gives us the branding. And now all we have left to do is to do a final polish on this, and that is pretty easy. We've got a polishing cloth, and we just come in and look, we got just a little bit of screw ups here where we stamped it. So I think I'm going to take it back to the buffer and just buff that stuff out just a little bit. I don't know how I got that in there. I'm going to first take my sanding board. Pretty good for that side. We got a little bit on this side. That should cover it. Take it back and throw a polish on it. We'll be back. Okay, now we're back to the ball game here. We got a polishing cloth we're going to take and just run the polishing cloth over the entire surface. And I'm thinking we want to kind of come in and just do a little bit of polishing on the blackness too. And that'll kind of even it out a bit. That looks pretty good. I think we got ourselves a bracelet. Let me make sure there's no compound next to the stone, and there is. Just get my fingernail in there and kind of clean it out a little bit. And I'm hoping Ike will be happy with this. So we'll set it down untouched. We'll get a bag. Let's see, do I have any bags that are the right size? Oh, maybe. This one's a little long, but I've had other bags down at the house. This will keep it protected for the moment. Pick it up so no fingerprints get on it. And we have a completed bracelet. Okay, well that was quite a project. It was only 3 years or maybe even 4 years in the making. But eventually it got done, and we got some more jewelry projects coming up. I'm really starting to enjoy this. You know, I did jewelry for 35 years, and when I put it aside, I don't think I made another piece for 5 years. And then I made a little slurry of pieces, a flurry of pieces. And you know, a slurry is a potter's term, and of course I got a little pottery back there too. But we won't put slurry on the jewelry. You know, I'm having fun. It's been probably 10 years since I put this aside, and I'm having a good time. I'm going to answer that phone. Stick with me. We're going to have a good time.